Greetings to all of you out there and welcome to today's presentation. We're going to keep it quite short. This is AJ at Ketron. And for those of you in the United States, I want to let you know that whenever you come to Italy and you order a pizza, do not expect to get the same Papa John's and what we have back there. No, Italian pizza is a different story. It's a whole entire meal and it's very, very healthy indeed. Anyway, back to our show. So today we're going to talk about some of the nice features that are found within the Ketron event series. In this particular case, also the EVM. And while I have this opportunity, again, I always talk about this nice little toy of mine I have over here called the HS13. And this HS13 allows you to be able to program and control various elements of the touch screen. In this particular case, arranger A, arranger B, arranger C, D. I can control them all from here. And instantly you can see on the screen that as I am calling up the different parameters, they are being called and recalled instantly as well. And also, we're talking about the show off of some of the new styles that are coming out shortly. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Again, in this video, we're talking about some nice and neat features that exist on the Ketron series. Now, the mixing in terms of performance, what I'm talking about here is the capability to be able to mix, change parts on the fly. In other words, you don't have to stop the arranger and then go into some editing tool and then come back and check it out. You can do this all on the fly. So I'm going to use this example that we have over here in this particular case. So I was playing this song, nice song by Bob Marley, by the way. Of course, you have a nice organ line there, which I can, switch out. I have the nice vocal synth voice here on my voice too. But while I'm playing this style, did you know that as I'm playing this style, I can go into the arranger and make changes in real time? So let's say, for an example, that bass, which is one of the new bass lines, I don't like that bass, right? And I want to get something which is a little bit more, punchy, or maybe a different kind of line altogether. I can simply go in and touch that bass. And if I have the AJAM Sonic package, of course, I'm going to have all these other additional bass lines. If I turn off the user, now I have the factory bass lines to go with, okay? So I can go back into user, and while I'm playing, okay, I can change that manual baseline. This is in real time, okay? And I can change the chord, and that new baseline is going to respond to that chord change. Hear that walking baseline? And remember, that change only impacted arranger A. If I go to arranger B, I have the original baseline that was in B. And again, I can change it as well and put something else in there, like a smooth jazz baseline. So back in A, I have that first baseline which I changed. And in B, I have this baseline. And of course, I can go in there since it's a real bass and adjust the volume in real time. Make it a little bit louder and more punchy if I want. Now, if I had picked the global icon here and made a change, that change will impact arranger A, B, C, and D in one shot, okay? But because I want to do them individually, I choose single. And you can hear that nice guitar back there. I can solo that guitar. That's a nice reggae guitar. So if I go to variation B, you can see it's another guitar that's in there. And if I want to just mess around with that, I can touch it and I can change it. Let me see if I can try something very interesting. If I put this one over there for an example. And of course, I can go back here and adjust that volume accordingly. Now let me bring in the rest of the band. So again, you have to work your way around and see which one is going to suit the kind of music you are trying to produce. Well, let me try this one. Wow. So I can try this. And remember, like I said before at the beginning of this video, I am doing all these changes in real time. So this is what you would be doing back in the studio. In other words, back at your bass, of course. And of course, when you fine tune it the way you want and you get it to where you want it to be, all you have to do is simply reach out and press the save icon over there. And you want to make sure that you're saving as a user style because you want to save that particular style, okay? Save as and give that a new name. So once you've done that, okay, again, this is how you put things together. You know the kind of voice you want. In this case, I have this nice sterish accordion as my voice one. And if you have the AJAM Sonic package, I have this vocal synth as my voice too. That's going to be in the Pro Pack 8 right there, okay? So maybe in this particular case, I want this machine to be like this for a particular song, right? So in this case, what you do now is you're going to touch save. You don't want to save it as a user style anymore. You want to save it as a registration. So a registration is a song setup. It's like a snapshot of the keyboard and all the parameters at any given time. So in this case now with the new software, I can activate filters. In other words, what about the registration do I want to save? What values do I want to save such that when I go to the stage and I want to recall, I'm going to recall just those values. If you leave this as it is right now inactive, it's going to store everything, okay? So all the parameters are going to be stored. But you can go in there and turn on the filter, and you can tell the machine I want to store the tempo, or maybe not. Maybe I want to use this registration to play more than one reggae song. So in this case, I want to not store the tempo. I want it to use whatever tempo is on the keyboard at that given time, okay? Of course, I want to store the style, the drawbars, lower value, microphone setting, text files, if I have that, the split setting, I want to store that. So play modes, I want to store all of this stuff as well, okay? Sliders, I may not want to. So in other words, if I turn this off, I want that when I recall the registration, it should have the value of the sliders as they are right now at that particular given time. If I turn this on, it means that regardless of my slider position, when I recall that registration, the volumes will be recalled the way they were stored in the registration. For some people, that's a good thing. For others, they want to always make sure that whatever slider position they're looking at right now when they're performing live is exactly the slider value that is within the particular keyboard set. So in that case, I would put the sliders off. Okay? Anyway. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to touch Save As, and I'm going to give that as name. Like I can call this Everything Gonna Be Alright, Bob Marley or something. I can just call it Bob underscore everything, right? Everything. You get the idea, and hit enter. Now when I get to the stage, when I'm on my stage and I'm trying to perform, what do I do if I want to recall that setting? All I'm going to do, notice I did not save it there, but you will now touch the registration button, which is registration over here, and this would have all of your song settings that you have right there, okay? So now I can go through and say, okay, Bob, whatever it was, would have been the next one. I touch that, and it's going to load all those parameters. So really, the way you get this to work in your favor is to sit down and spend some time with the machine, customize it to your needs, okay? Make sure you have like your song settings. Some people want to make registration setups which are particular to a particular song. In other cases, people make registration setups which are particular to a particular genre. So for an example, if you look at my registration here in this example, you would see that I have here disco funk registration. So if I recall this, it will recall a particular disco style and all the parameters, the synth voices and everything. But the good thing is I can take this registration or this setup and play 3, 4, or 5 different disco songs or disco beats. So it's all, again, there's no just one fixed particular way to do this. You might choose to use a registration for each and every song, or you might use a registration for a group of songs. And there are some people out there who don't even use registrations. They just use the styles, and they just go from one style to the next. For them, it might be faster. You never know. Again, this is AJ at Ketron. I'm wishing you all a great day, and I shall catch you all in the next video. Ciao.